we're going to be watching a MotoStars video. So we have crashes and close calls in this video. We're going to go over the plan method. We're going to talk about this hazardous situation, which is an intersection.
So take a look.
So how could we solve that problem? Okay, well, I guess we could finish it. They're just waving. Okay, on to the next one. All right, so let's get up to here. Let's go and get to the very start. We started off right away. So we're passing on the right. Don't recommend it. Now, let's go over the plan method. Let's just do that first. The plan method. This is what we talk about in the Smart Rider motorcycle training system. So multiple books. It's going to get you from 0 to getting your license, bunch of drills, and how to rescue somebody after a crash. But it's based off the plan method that I developed, which is based off the OODA loop and a few other things. So first of all, position for safety. Okay, so are we in a position for safety? Can we swerve pretty good? Okay, first of all, position for safety, we're looking for escape route, space cushion, line of sight. Right here, we have a decent line of sight. We know what's happening in front of us. We have enough of an escape in front of us. That's why we're lane filtering, because you don't really go into an escape that you can't do anything. Hitting a wall is not an escape. But do we have any opportunities to swerve left or right? No. We have an opportunity to accelerate or brake. Those are 3 things we can do: swerve, brake, and accelerate. So we can accelerate, we can brake. Now, what does that tell us? You know, if we think logically here, if we can accelerate out of something, we should probably start off slower so we can gain speed, or have a very powerful bike. So if we're going fast, we can go faster. So we can do that here with this bike. But when it comes to braking, is it easier to brake when we're going high speed or lower speed? So if all we can do is brake or accelerate, it would be easier to brake if we were going at a relatively low speed, especially in a situation like this. So that tells me, in this situation, for my position for safety, let's take it nice and easy, nice and slow, because we're still passing everybody, which will give me an opportunity to brake much quicker. Now, how do you brake? Progressive braking. So now we're applying all these different skills into the situation. So now let's go back to the plan method once that disappears. Locating hazardous situations. It's hazardous. We only have one option: pretty much braking or accelerating, can't swerve left and right, don't have a good space cushion, and we have an intersection coming up. So intersections and corners, naturally hazardous. That's where most people die on a motorcycle. So we're going to see a lot of probably crashes and close calls in intersections and corners in this video. Now, how do we assess any relevant threats? Anybody who wants to pull out in front of us. Us colliding into something is typically the threat that happens. That's what gets us, crashed. So if anybody pulls out in front of us or gets close to it, it possibly could. That's a relevant threat. Now, when it becomes an active threat, it comes down to those 3 things I talked about: swerve, brake, or accelerate. In this situation, we understand braking is pretty much all we have. Maybe some acceleration if we need to get out of something, but braking, because our swerving is kind of removed. So logically, with all of that said, we're coming up to a hazardous situation. We really only have braking as our ability to manage any of these active threats. And so we should probably, with our behavior, slow it down a little bit so braking becomes easier, and paying attention for anybody wanting to pull out, typically at intersections. So cover those brakes, get really good at progressive braking. And that's the skill we're going to need in this situation. So once again, we get up to here.
Hey guys, in today's video, we've got a bunch of situations.
And there's a vehicle. Now, this is the moment he sees it. We should already be ready to cover our brakes, or covering our brakes, get ready to brake. Now, if we go back, and when I talk about the plan method and finding patterns, we're going to get into some patterns. You can see a pattern here, the side of the vehicle pattern. That vehicle is to the side. We're coming this way, possible T-bone. So there you go. So let's look for patterns. That's going to prepare us. Hey, that car might come out. It's a relevant threat. Let's be really prepared. Let's cover those brakes. Get ready to apply those brakes. These are all things that you're going to start picking up when you're riding and driving, and if you start actively participating and being intentional and focusing on the plan method. We could have applied the brakes sooner if we saw it sooner. Okay, now we went over the plan method. Let's apply all that stuff I just said to other situations that are going to be popping up in this video. Had to lay her down. Now, everything I just said, when it comes to planning our ride, locating hazardous situations. What's the hazardous situation here? Remove the aspect of him crashing right now. What's the hazardous situation here? Just look at the lights. We're coming up to an intersection. So we located the hazardous situation. We can only do 3 things. Maybe kind of slow it down a little bit. Watch out for left turners. Practice our braking. Everything that I talked about in that first clip. So if we're going fast into an intersection, it's going to be harder to brake. We're not doing our progressive braking. We slammed the front brake, had to layer down, so we slammed it, locked up the tires. Our handlebars did this or this. It all depends on which direction, just a little bit of where the handlebars are going. Then it goes down further when you slam the brakes. So we slammed the brakes because we panicked. We didn't see that it was a hazardous situation. What was the relevant threat? The relevant threat in this situation is that there's a car in the left turn lane. We can see that. So that's going to be like, hey, it's relevant. It's not really an active threat until they start coming out into my lane. They did. We slammed the brakes. So if you see a car in the left turn lane, be cautious. Cover those brakes. Get ready for progressive braking. Once again, progressive braking. It's nice, smooth, a little bit. More. It's easier to do when you're not speeding or going faster for the area. Intersections, let's slow it down just a little bit. If it's a 40-mile-an-hour road, drop it down to 35 entering, kind of almost like shutting off the throttle, just kind of cruising through it, or just like lowering the throttle, get some engine braking, and covering those brakes, getting ready to do it. And once you get out of the intersection, nothing happened, go ahead and give it a little bit more speed, back up to 40. That's all you have to do. So you're constantly doing this through intersections, covering the brakes, doing that, and then if something happens, you're ready, okay? So we laid it down, and we crashed. And if you see, we don't have much gear, so part of what we do here with the system, it's based off the Smart Rider principles, is we acquire and use personal protective equipment just in case things failed, so we're not scraping up our body, damaging our expensive tattoos, so wear full gear too, just in case. All right, we're slowly gonna get to the point where it's almost like a quiz for you guys, because I'm not gonna spend so much time on every clip. So position for safety, can't really see much. Okay, now there's the side of the vehicle. Did a swerve, didn't make it. So how did we get into this situation? Let's go back just a little bit. Right here, when it comes to planning our ride, position for safety. We can't see much around. We're off to the side, that's good, so you can see a little bit. But we're so close to the vehicle. Now, if we're so close to the vehicle and we're behind them, we're not visible. We want to be visible, we want to be predictable, and this is going to be a line of sight issue. So the other car didn't see us, they just assumed this truck, when they're turning, I can go. They should have waited, I get that, I understand that, but let's make ourselves more visible. Let's sit back just a little bit more. I know that they're going slow and I can't wait. Well, you can go slow 10, 15, 20 feet behind versus going slow right next to them. Okay, so just go ahead and scoot it back and still go slow instead of just going slow right up here. It is what it is. That way it gives you opportunities to get out of the way and people can see you. So now we're at here, we see the side of the vehicle and their tires are rotating, they're coming towards us. You hear the engine RPMs, we're trying to accelerate out, so I'm gonna give him credit for actually trying to do something. Like I said, the 3 things, accelerate, brake, swerve. So he tried something, but they're also doing it. So we're gonna intersect. We have plenty of space, we could have switched it into a swerve. Okay, we're armchair quarterbacking on purpose because it's called an after-action review. We're trying to find out what went right, what went wrong, and let's go ahead and use their example of, oh, cool, there's other things I can do. So we're going to go ahead and swerve instead and then get back in. That's what I would have done. He tried last second realizing it wasn't going to work, but we still collided. So thank you for the example, but we're going to learn from it. All right, big group ride. Okay. Everyone's going. He wants to stop this car. So typically in these big group rides like this, you're going to have somebody in the group ride like stopping traffic so everyone can stay together. I don't agree with that. I think you should ride in a way where you're cooperative with traffic because you're just creating dysfunction here. And if you have such a big group ride, I believe, this is kind of what we did in the fire service. When we have a big incident, we basically had our own crews, but we all worked towards the same mission. I would really like to see, I don't know how effective it would be. I haven't really put it in practice. It's a theory. I would really like it if, let's say there's 20 people in a group ride. Let's split it up into 4 crews, 4 groups of 5. And if a car gets in between, 2 groups, well, you guys are still, now it's like this is your own little crew that you're managing. And so if like you know where to go, the leader of that little crew knows where we're going. So then you kind of go in groups of 5 versus a group of 20. And so if like half the group missed the light, the other half can still manage and work and get towards it. I don't know. It's a theory. I don't know, but I don't like the idea of stopping traffic and doing this kind of stuff because it puts you in a dangerous spot and it also antagonizes other drivers. And as a driver myself, I don't like it. Not a big fan of that.